you're 3 days into a sprint. The PRD your PM wrote is 12 pages. Half of it is context you already have. The other half is decisions that haven't been made yet, written as if they have. And your team is shipping with Cursor, Claude Code, and a couple of agentic workflows that turn one engineer into something closer to 3. The PRD format wasn't built for this. It was built for a world where the bottleneck was implementation and writing 5 pages of spec was cheap insurance against 6 weeks of wasted code. That ratio is broken now. So I want to talk about MTB, mission, target, boundaries, plus a 4th field most teams skip. It's a 4-field replacement for the PRD when your team builds with AI. By the end of this, you'll know when to use it, when not to, and the one field that usually gets written wrong. Here's the setup. PRDs assume the expensive thing is the code. So they front-load decisions. Every edge case, every empty state, every analytics event. That made sense when a senior engineer costs 2 weeks to build a feature. When the same engineer can prototype 3 versions in an afternoon with an AI pair, you don't want a doc that pre-commits to one of them. You want a doc that constrains the search space and gets out of the way. MTB does exactly that. 4 fields, usually fits on one screen. Field 1, mission. 1 sentence. What changes in the world if this ships? Not users can do X, that's a feature description. Mission is the outcome. Cut time to first value for new workspaces from 6 minutes to under 90 seconds. That's a mission. An engineer with an AI assistant can now generate 5 different UX paths and evaluate them against that number. If your mission needs a paragraph you haven't decided yet, go decide. Field 2, target. Who, specifically, and what they're doing when this matters. This is where most briefs collapse into our users. Your AI tools will happily generate plausible code for our users and produce something that serves nobody. Target should be narrow enough that a staff IC reading it can picture a real person on a real screen. Solo founder, day 1, signed up from the pricing page, hasn't connected a data source yet. Now the implementation has a center of gravity. Field 3, boundaries. This is the field that replaces the 8 pages of PRD nobody reads. Boundaries are the explicit non-negotiables and the explicit out of scope. 3 to 7 bullets. Must work without JavaScript. Do not touch the billing service. ETH flow stays as is. Boundaries are what you give the AI so it doesn't refactor your entire payments module on the way to fixing a button. This is also where you encode the things that would normally live in an RFC review. The architectural constraints, the blast radius limits, the SLOs you can't violate. If you're an EM, this is the field you co-write with your tech lead. If you're a staff IC, this is the field you defend in review. Field 4, the one most teams skip, evidence. How will we know it worked? Not success metrics in the OKR sense. Evidence is the specific signal you'll check, and when. Within 2 weeks of ship, P50 TTFV on new workspaces under 90 seconds measured via the onboarding completed event. If you can't write the query that would prove it worked, your mission is fuzzy. Go back to field 1. Linear's been public about running something close to this. Short, outcome-shaped project briefs instead of full PRDs. Shopify's engineering posts on AI-assisted workflows hit the same theme. The human's job shifts from specifying implementation to specifying constraints and outcomes. The brief is a constraint document, not an instruction manual. When does MTB not work? 3 cases. Compliance-sensitive work where the spec is the artifact. C2, HIPAA, anything where auditors read your docs. Greenfield platform work where the architectural decisions are the product. In cross-team coordination, where 6 engineers from 4 teams need the same mental model. There, you still want the long-form RFC. For everything else, feature work, growth experiments, internal tools, most product surface area. MTB plus a Loom walkthrough beats a 12-page PRD. Your engineers spend less time decoding intent and more time evaluating the 3 implementations their AI just generated. One thing to watch for. The failure mode of MTB isn't that it's too short. It's that mission gets written as a feature and evidence gets written as a vibe. If your brief has those 2 failure modes, you've just written a worse PRD. Pressure test both fields before you hand it off. Next video, I'm going to break down the review ritual that goes with this, the 15-minute brief review that replaces the 90-minute spec review, and why the questions you ask change completely when the team is shipping with AI. If you want the MTB template we use, it's linked below. Worth a look before your next planning cycles.